This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I saw this last night, and I thought, because I'm a fan of baseball history, and particularly Major League Baseball history. And so when I saw this, I started doing just a little bit quick research on it, because I thought, man, this is crazy. Yesterday, in the sixth inning, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians hits a home run. It's a solo shot. That home run broke a franchise record because he hit his 87th go-ahead home run for the Cleveland Indians, and it helped lift the Indians over the Detroit Tigers 2-1. He broke the record of Larry Doby. Larry Doby was the second black player in Major League Baseball history and the first black player in American League history. He was also the second second black manager behind Frank Robinson, and the first in the American League. So then I was like, well, when did Larry Doby play? I mean, he played like late, 40s and 50s. His Major League debut was with the Indians in 1947, and he last appeared in the Major Leagues in 1959. We're talking about something that's basically 65 plus years old. I mean, you just don't see that very often. But then I was thinking, okay, so what is the Cleveland Indians like? They've had home run hitters in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, plenty of them.
Plenty of them. And so then I looked at the all-time Cleveland home run list. I mean, Jim Thome, 337. Albert Bell, 242. Manny Ramirez, 236. Those are the top three. A guy named Earl Averill at 226, and then Jose Ramirez is fifth at 223. But then I got to thinking, well, especially for Jim Thome, well, maybe more for Albert Bell and Manny Ramirez, there were a lot of bad Cleveland Indian teams, so it wasn't very many hit go-ahead home runs, right, for those guys.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez played on good teams.
But I mean, he did, and Thome too. But I mean, I guess maybe over the
Manny didn't play as long with them as Thome did. I'm surprised they kept that stat back then.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But Jose Ramirez is a great player, so it's not shocking that his numbers are number one on their list. No,
but just the fact that that record has stood for so long, and then, like you said, that they kept that stat because, the NFL didn't really start keeping sack totals until, Lawrence Taylor and, I don't know, maybe even late 70s, early 80s. I mean, that's when that sack total really started to be, charted, and they've tried to go back and look at, some earlier years. But anyway, I just thought that was amazing, actually, that, you'd have a record that stood, and it's not that you hear that, it's not like it's the all-time Cleveland home run record or anything along those lines, but Larry Doby, a guy that's been frankly dead for a number of years. I mean, 21 years. Died in 2003. And he goes back to he broke the color line on the American League side 3 months after Jackie Robinson did on the National League side with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And they became kindred spirits, obviously, because of what they were doing. And he, in his Wikipedia, talks about how Doby and Jackie Robinson had phone conversations about kind of how to handle things and how they could help each other out and for the betterment of everyone, in terms of how they would respond to things and people and stuff like that. So but just just if you have a chance and you're interested in those types of things, it's worth the read on going back on Larry Doby, because we hear so much about Jackie Robinson, and clearly, I mean, he was the first, and so he gets the credit for doing that. And there's Jackie Robinson Day and all those things, but in those days there wasn't interleague baseball, so Larry Doby's doing essentially the same thing that Jackie Robinson did. He's just 3 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the same trials and tribulations that Jackie Robinson did back in the day. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Pat Riley is not happy with your boy Jimmy Buckets, Jamie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Apparently, Jimmy Butler, who was out because of an injury, basically caused a little bit of a stir, saying that the Celtics would be at home if he was available to play. And he said if he was playing on the Sixers instead of the Heat, they wouldn't have lost to the Knicks in the first round. So he kind of spiced it up for that. But Pat Riley, who's got rings for fingers and toes, said this: for him to say that, I thought, is Jimmy trolling, or is that Jimmy serious? Then he went on to say, if you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut and your criticism of those teams.
Seems fair.
Yeah, seems fair. He was asked about the availability of Heat players, during the series. He said there's a lot of elements that go into a culture, the erosion of a culture, problems in the NBA that are league-wide when it comes to health, and players missing games when it comes to availability. Here we get eliminated again in the first round. There are things you have to look at. Who moves the needle the most on our team is Jimmy. He's an incredible player. What I said about changes, is he going to have to give some thought for what we really want it to be? Because he was asked about him coming back and playing. He said he was asked if he would be open to trading Jimmy Butler, and he said no, not right now. So it's amazing that Pat Riley's still grinding it out, because he's been doing that for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
Long time. He's had plenty of success. He looks the same. His hair's still greased back. Probably could still coach if he wanted to, but he likes being the head daddy rabbit. Probably wants to win one more, would be my guess. That's what the greats
everybody
always
does.
Want. Yeah, everybody does. They always want to win one more, right?
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is May the 7th, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to start us off in 1917. In a testament to his pitching ability, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth leads the Boston Red Sox to a 1-0 victory over the Washington Senators and Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson, wow, that's a big pitching name.
1945, Branch Rickey announces the formation of the U.S. Negro Baseball League. 1951, the International Olympic Committee allows Russia to participate in the 1952 Olympics.
They should have not. They should have banned them.
1960, Dodgers Larry and Norm Sherry are baseball's 10th brother battery.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And Norm was the pitcher, then Larry must have been the catcher.
I don't know that Norm was the pitcher. I don't know which one was the pitcher.
Yeah, Norm Sherry was a pitcher.
Oh, well, there you go. 1982, Californian federal jury rules the NFL violates the antitrust laws in preventing the Oakland Raiders' move to Los Angeles Coliseum.
Actually, Norm was the catcher, sorry.
Again, you said it with so much confidence.
I know.
I trusted you.
I know. I just didn't remember Larry Sherry. Must have been a bum pitcher.
His name is Larry Sherry?
Right? That's his name,
funny.
right?
That was his name.
Yeah. Norm
That's
was
funny.
he was a manager too. Managed the Dodgers and
He should have married Julia Gulia.
managed the Angels, the California Angels. He was a coach for the Expos, Padres, Giants. Played for the Dodgers and the Mets. Makes me so mad. I'm so sure of myself.
You were.
I was.
You seemed very confident.
I was because I know that name.
2016, the number 8 Texas Tech Red Raiders pounded on Kansas with 6 runs in the 3rd inning as the Red Raiders clinched their 6th Big 12 series win of the season following a 9-2 victory. Tech got 7 shutout innings from Stephen Gingrey to record their 6th Big 12 series win of the year, Tech's most in a season since the 2004 campaign. And in 2021, Cincinnati Reds pitcher Wade Miley no-hits the Cleveland Indians 3-0 at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Happy National Cosmopolitan and Leg of a Lamb Day.
Oh, Laura.
That was well played.
I will never think of Leg of Lamb without thinking of Oh, Laura from this point in the rest of my life.
Yes.
Have you guys had leg of lamb before?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Yeah.
How about you?
Me neither. Yeah.
I've never even seen it served.
Doesn't seem like something I would like.
You know, it's like, why do I want somebody's leg, some lamb's leg, you know?
Well,
I mean, chicken wings I'm good with, you know?
Happy birthday to YouTube sensation and huge giver away of money. Mr. Beast is 26. Alex Smith is 40. And
Mr.
Sean Marion,
Beast?
Mr. Beast.
What does he do on YouTube?
Gives
that makes
away
him
money.
A sensation.
Really just gives away money. Gives away a lot of money.
Where does he get the money?
From people donating to his YouTube channel and sponsorships. And if you know one YouTuber, like if you were to just see a guy running around doing YouTube, you would probably think it's him.
I don't know one YouTuber.
I was going to say, do you know any
it-
YouTubers?
I think like he'll do, YouTube and Twitch stuff where he'll log on, he'll watch somebody else's Twitch and donate $10,000
To their Twitch?
to their Twitch.
Oh, that's cool.
And people flood in. He does
At least
stunts
he's doing
and all
good
that,
with it,
and contests. So yeah,
As long as we don't find out that he's on the side like a drug dealer, and that's where the
Robin
money's
Hood
coming
kinda
from.
deal.
no,
Yeah.
most of it is donations to his channels and sponsorships that he gets taken care of. Alex Smith is 40, and Sean Marion is 46. And on this day in 1824, Ludwig van Beethoven, Ninth and Final Symphony debuts at Vienna's theater. Having lost his hearing years earlier, the celebrated composer nonetheless conducts the first performance of the Ninth Symphony, now widely considered to be one of the greatest pieces of music ever written.
Very nice. Look at us all cultured and everything here. Playing a little Beethoven this morning. You don't get that on every show.
And there's probably some reasons for that. That is this day in sports history.
Look at us being all cultured. There's the quote of the day on the morning drive.
Okay. Well, we like to...
Right after Larry Sherry, the catcher.
Right. It's time for a lucky local winning word. This will be, you're going to love this one today. This is going to be I think your favorite one of all of them. Well, this will be your second favorite one of all of them, okay? Because I don't know if we'll have your most favorite one of all of them. But you just have to go. You, our lucky local listener, get to go to doublet97.3.com and enter this word. And Double T97.3 and the Home Zone have teamed up to give away a total of $10,000 this spring to lucky local listeners. All you have to do is register this word at doublet97.3.com. Listen every day at this time, 8:45 and 4:45 for the local winning word. It's all from the Home Zone and Double T 97.3. The Home Zone, making your house a home every day at 50th and Indiana. We'll give away some final money, $2,500 as a matter of fact, at Two Docks on June the 20th. That is a Thursday. It's all from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone. Today, Jamie, do you want to take a guess at what your lucky local winning word is? I told you it was going to be your second favorite word or team. Oh, this is going to be third, because Yankees would be your second behind the Red Raiders, right?
Yeah.
So the word is Bills.
Okay.
Bills.
Yeah.
Bills. Bills is your lucky local winning word here this morning at 6:52. Bills, Bills, as in Buffalo Bills. Bills. Just go to doublet973.com and enter that in, and you could win some money. And we're going to give some money away today, $250 today to somebody, and we'll do it again on Thursday as well. 6:52 this morning here on the morning drive. Well, we've had I think a spirited first hour, Jamie. Spirited first hour.
We like spirits.
I mean, we've had a little bit of everything. You know, we've had some baseball history. We've had a Pepsi Man sighting. We've learned about whiskey barrels. We've played some Beethoven, and we've given you a little bit of info as well along the way. So you should all have a great day today as you head out to your places of business or school or things along those lines. We'll have Astros baseball on the air for you tonight, and they take on the New York Yankees. It'll come to you from the Bronx this evening. 5:35, the broadcast time on 100.7 The Score. And we'll have day baseball today as you're out driving around. The Texas Rangers playing at Oakland. That coverage gets underway at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. The Rangers and the A's will in Oakland. So we'll have Game 1 on the air for you at 2, and then Game 2 follows. Astros and the Yankees will continue their series tomorrow as well. All right. So, again, the Yates Flooring Center chat line is open. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. Also, the Visual Edge IT hotline is open for you this morning at 806-771-0973. So if you'd like to weigh in on anything that we have already presented to you, or if you have something to contribute to the class, we'll be more than happy to take it under advisement this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll continue.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Yates Flooring Center chat line is open. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. We'll have Ranger Baseball on the air for you today. Also, the Astros tonight. Astros and the Yankees from New York at 5:35 on 100.7 The Score. And then the Rangers and the Oakland Swingin' A's from Oakland today at 2 o'clock. And time permitting, Tech Talk after that. Time permitting. See how quick work the Rangers make of the A's today, or vice versa. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. No % chance he coaches the Cowboys. Bill Belichick. The Cowboys were good last year without a good running back, and they will be good this year as well. Plus, their division is still not good. Mike McCarthy will be their coach this and next year. Well, he'll have to get a contract to be the coach next year because it expires at the end of this year. Maybe Jerry's tired of paying people that aren't working. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yesterday, we were over at Lubbock Country Club as part of the Chip In for Children charity golf tournament for Covenant Children's. And we had Texas Tech, or Jamie and Choice had Texas Tech defensive coordinator Tim DeRuiter on. And man, I kind of got fired up about the defense listening to him, Jamie, because he's feeling really good about the front four, and you know, he talked about the number of NFL guys that they lost, you know, especially in the defensive backfield, but talked about guys that were, you know, making headway in terms of replacing those guys, and sounds like there's depth and leadership at the linebacker spot. But did you walk away kind of feeling a little elevated and better about the Tech defense?
Yeah, I think I already felt good about the Tech defense. I do think that you're missing some key guys off of last year's team, so a little bit nervous about that. But the word he used right off the bat was depth, and maybe felt like it was maybe the deepest team defensively that they've had since he's been here. So maybe you don't have some of those household names in the defensive backfield and in the defensive front, but we know you've got some good linebackers, and I mean, he just talked about how many different guys they were really happy with at this point, that they're stepping up and moving forward, and just felt like there was no drop off between the 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever, which that's obviously a great sign.
Yeah, no, and you know, again, you know, and he's generally an upbeat guy, but also generally a guy that doesn't, he doesn't spin the truth too much. I mean, he's pretty much a straight shooter in his weekly, media gatherings that they have on Monday, and the coordinators speak at that. Both him and Coach Kitley after Coach McGuire speaks, and so, he's been a guy that's shot straight. I mean, he's an older guy. He's been around the block. He's been a head coach. He knows the drill, it's. But it was like, wow.
There's one other thing that stuck out to me. If you want that info,
sure. Sure.
He really likes the nicknames.
He does.
He really. I don't think I've ever been around or covered a coaching staff that likes the nicknames more than this one we've got right now.
Because he talked about Rabbit and B-Lux, and
he got them all.
He had them all, and I think sometimes. Look, I think sometimes
he was cracking me up. I was trying not to laugh.
I think sometimes, because he's about my age, I think he's slightly older. I think we're right about the same age. Anyway, the bottom line is still to be 63. I think sometimes when you get to that elder statesman level, you have a tendency to remember the shorter names better than the longer names. Okay. So for him, I think it's more about. So he's younger than me. He was born in '63, so he has just turned. He's 61, but I think for him it's like, well, best this, but he did have the nicknames down.
He had them all.
He had them all.
Everybody's got a nickname. That is definitely a nickname-heavy team.
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe that speaks to just the culture of friendly and fun, and I don't know, not overly formal. And
the relationship,
Maybe if we all walked around here calling each other Sea Dog and JL and
right,
Wood Boy, and maybe we'd all just be a little more kumbaya than it is now.
Maybe so.
This thought off the 8 Storm Center chat line. After hearing DeRuiter fire Chuck up, today would be a great day to get Chuck's season prediction to add to his confidence graft as we see how the roller coaster is progressing.
Okay, Chuck, what's your confidence level? Not your confidence level, but what's your season prediction now?
I think I'd be 8-4.
8-4. Okay.
I think I'd be 8-4. To me, the big question mark, I think it's everybody's question mark at this point, especially with how the spring ended, is what's the health of Baron Morton? What does that look like for you? So, because that's a huge factor in this deal. Making sure that you can hang on to the football and all those kinds of things. I'm sure that we're going to get. That he'll be ready. First game's August 31st. He'll be ready.
That's the plan at this point.
That's the plan.
And I'm going to assume that's going to be the case until they tell me something different.
Right. No, I agree with you. That's where my big old question mark is right now with this football team is.
But you're the only one with that question mark.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I think that's everybody's big question.
Sure it is. I mean, and rightfully so. But when he was giving all the names, I was thinking about you when he was doing that. He's like, he's got Rabbit, this, Relux, this,
He had a lot of them.
He did. He had. Well, I could see the wheels turning. I mean, that was a familiar look. He was like, I'm trying to remember all these guys' names, and he just kind of defaulted to the nicknames, which is certainly. But I mean, and I think the question you asked about the leadership. That's still kind of developing, but he brought up, Jacob Rodriguez, case in point, is a guy that they feel like is going to be an internal leader for him, and obviously him being healthy and stuff like that, and being on the field is critical.
Extremely.
To be able to provide that, but I mean that was good to hear that they're not devoid of it, and that he could immediately kind of cite somebody. To say that. So I don't know. I was kind of excited to hear that, and excited to hear about the depth as well. And then, you obviously talked about Bryce Ramirez, in terms of a guy that could say, I mean, he basically said, I got my leg broken off. What's going on with you and not being able to get out on the field? You know? I mean, and there is a lot to be said for that, right?
Sure, if I fought back from that, then anybody can fight back from whatever they got going on.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's a little bit of that. No, I wasn't talking about Joey McGuire. I was talking about Tim DeRuyter with regard to his age. Yes, Joey McGuire is substantially younger than me. He's older than Jamie, though. So you still got that going for you, Jamie, that the head football coach is still older than you.
Okay.
All
right. Well,
it's devastating to learn when you're older than the head football coach the first time.
Devastating?
It's like, wow, man, I'm top of the food chain. Wow. Head football coach is younger than me.
Glad we kept the spoons away from you during the Kingsbury era.
Right. Well, it was Leach. It was Leach who was the first one that was younger than me. But yeah, Kingsbury was like, he could have been my son. For God's sake.
Lucky for him.
Lucky for you.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. Today I'm going to go a little goofy. All right.
Oh, wow.
Goofy.
I apologize for not being serious today. I don't know. We're just kind of in a doldrum state, so we're going to go goofy today.
Okay.
All right. Have you seen the movie Freaky Friday, Chuck?
No.
Mother and the daughter, they wake up one morning and they've switched bodies.
Okay.
Okay?
I feel like that sometimes mothers and daughters are one of the same. One is just older and the other is just younger.
No comment.
I probably shouldn't have had one either.
There's only one thing worse than that, right, Chuck? That's if, you're a 16-year-old girl and you're actually your dad. All right, so it's Freaky Friday.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, we wake up and Joey McGuire is not allowed to be your football coach anymore.
Okay.
Grant McCaslin is not allowed to be your basketball coach anymore.
Okay.
And Tim Tadlock is not allowed to be your baseball coach anymore.
Okay.
They are still members of the coaching fraternity at Texas Tech. But they cannot coach their sports anymore.
Okay.
Somebody else on the campus has to coach their sport.
Oh. Okay.
A different Red Raider coach.
Okay.
And they could coach another sport. They just can't coach theirs.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Okay.
So who are you hiring of the current Red Raider coaches to be the Texas Tech football coach, Texas Tech basketball coach, and the Texas Tech baseball coach?
Okay. The first guy's name that comes to my mind for the football job is Tom Stone. I think he just step right in there.
Think so?
Be the head football coach at Texas Tech, and fire him up, and he could do that. Okay. I think you know what? I think Wes Kitley could be your basketball coach.
Okay.
I mean, he's got some height. He's got, I think he could be your. He's had success. He's had success. He could be your basketball coach.
Everything he just said is true. He's had success and he's tall. Yes.
And as far as baseball, you need someone that's somewhat cerebral, someone that's kind of even keeled, so to speak. I'm trying to think who that would be. There's a part of me that you wouldn't mind seeing Krista Gerlich be the baseball coach, because I think she could throw the bats out there on the field and get after the umpires. I think that would be fun. I think that'd be fun to see Coach Gerlich go toe to toe with some of those umpires. They wouldn't know. She would. Hell hath no fury like an outside ball that's called a strike. Or a play at the plate. So I'm going to go with Coach Gerlich as your baseball coach, just to kind of fire it up, be a little different.
Okay,
I might be doing straight flips here, like on all three positions.
you can do some of that.
I think Chuck's got it right with Stone going to football, and I think McGuire could be a great soccer coach as well. So we flip the two football coaches with football. Fired up personality and getting people motivated and keeping those girls active. I think Joey could do that, and I think Tom Stone could transition into football if that is where he wanted to go. For basketball, we're going to go Grant McCaslin is now your men's golf coach, and Greg Sands is now your basketball coach. He might be the biggest basketball fan on campus that isn't Grant McCaslin. And for baseball, we're going to flip baseball and softball. Craig Snyder's going to be your baseball coach. Tim Tadlock's going to be your softball coach. I think a lot of the things that they do well transition both ways in those two different sports. Just have to remember one's a little bit different distance on stuff, but I think that would be the easiest switch for those.
Yeah, I think so, and that's actually a good answer. It's kind of a boring answer because they're basically coaching the same sport, but just the female and male version of it. But it's a good answer. I think it's a good answer. Okay, so for me, for the football coach, I like Grant McCaslin in that position. I think Coach McCaslin would work well with, hey, I have coordinators that are calling the plays and coaching their guys up, but I'm a fiery guy that can, call a timeout every once in a while and rally the troops. I can get into a guy when he's coming off the sideline after making a stupid penalty. I can do those kind of things. I think he would be the guy that I would want as the football coach. I think Coach Stone, with his fiery personality, is more for basketball. Okay. I mean, what do basketball coaches do? They yell like all the time. They get after officials and their players, and I just think Coach Stone would be perfect in that role. Okay.
But I'll just say this: I don't know if Coach Kitley would be agreeable to this or not, but I'd like to see whoever becomes the basketball coach wear a suit and a tie.
Not going to hijack our segment, Chuck. I think the baseball guy for me, and this one, I have a hard time on this one, but I think Coach Kitley. I think you need a calm demeanor guy as a baseball coach who kind of, just kind of stands and stares and then, takes everything in and then the moment comes and he loses his mind and it's great. And I think Coach Kitley's got would be that guy who would be calm in the dugout and
he could hit some
calm
fungos
for his
too.
Players. Yeah, he looks like he could hit some fungo. I don't know. There's a skill there that not everybody has, but I'm sure Coach Kitley could do it. So I think Coach Kitley would be a good baseball coach. I think Coach Sands would too, because I think he's got a similar personality to Coach Kitley, where he's got that calm demeanor. But we've seen him at basketball games, get after it a little bit, and so that would be perfect. I mean, that's what you're talking about. When he needs to lose it on an official, kicking some dirt on an umpire or whatever, I think Coach Sands would give us some good stuff there.
That was fun. That was a good question. Okay, so if you have thoughts on that, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that. The Boom 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 is next.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and doublet973.com. Hour 3 of 3 coming your way here this morning. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too on the Morning Drive this morning. We come to you from the First United Bank studio here in downtown Lubbock. All right, Jamie. It's May the 7th, okay? And Dak Prescott is still without an extension. Okay. His contract currently includes a no franchise tag clause and a no trade clause. This is the fourth year of a $160 million contract.
No, I think you had it right.
No, you were right the first time.
Yeah.
My question is, have the Cowboys gotten their money's worth?
No.
How many playoff games have you won?
Like one?
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
I'm saying that. Jeff, one? Is that right?
I think it's 2 in this contract.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
But none of them were the getting to the NFC Championship game.
Right. That's exactly right. He lost all those games. The Cowboys executive vice president and heir apparent to Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, says getting a new contract done is a, quote, priority, saying the reason it has not happened yet is because franchise quarterbacks contracts take time. Well, how much time does it take? And who's holding this up? Because I kind of feel like that at this point in time, when he says stuff like that, it's Dak holding it up. And what is he just tone deaf?
Well, I think that I think you're jumping to a conclusion there because of your feelings towards Dak.
Okay.
Nothing there makes me 100% confident that it's Dak.
Not that Jeff's a good barometer, but Jeff, what do you think about that? When you hear that Steven says franchise quarterbacks contracts take time.
How does that mean it's Dak's fault?
Because I think the Cowboys would want to get this done so they can get some cap money so they can go, sign some people, or they've missed that opportunity, obviously. Are you buying what I'm selling there?
I do think it's Dak holding up a contract agreement, although I will also say that contracts with franchise quarterbacks do take time because there is different negotiations that have to take place. You're paying them more. You got to try to figure out how it fits into a salary cap. You've got to figure out what it can do for your team in the future. You're not looking for a 1-year deal. You're not looking for a 2-year deal. You're looking for like a 5-year deal. And there's negotiations on both sides for what both groups want, being the team and the player, and what both groups can provide.
I don't know that I think he's tone deaf. I would guess he knows that there are a lot of the fan base that don't love how much he makes compared to... it just doesn't feel like he's put any pressure on himself to win. Like, he never says anything to me that says, I'm disappointed where we are, how we finished. It's almost like he's quick to not say any of that stuff, or he's careful not to say any of that stuff because he doesn't want to add to people's thoughts of him of being a great regular season quarterback but can't get it done in the clutch. And that drives me nuts. Just and maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm not listening to every comment made by Dak Prescott. Maybe he has said some of those things. And, you need quarterbacks to say, whether I have a good year or not, it's on me, the quarterback, to get us to the next level. I get that that's part of being the quarterback and blah, 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 blah. I never get that vibe from him. Like, yeah, I accept my part of the blame. I just never get that from him.
It kind of feels like he's got a little Teflon, too, in his uniform.
Again, I think there are plenty of people in this world, Dak Prescott's not alone, that will never say, I'm sorry, because that's an admission of I messed up. Mm-hmm. They will never say thank you because that's an admission of you did something for me. Mm-hmm. This is the world we live in. People don't say those things. That you have many people that say them because their ego is not massive. Mm-hmm. But there are people who don't say those things, again, to not feel like I can't admit that I messed up, and I can't admit that you did something for me. Okay, Dak Prescott's not the only one. Okay,
no.
But how could Dak Prescott change his opinion? How could he? Not his opinion. How could he change the opinion of every Dallas Cowboys football fan? There's two ways. Okay, of every Dallas Cowboys and even every NFL fan. Okay, one, he could win a Super Bowl.
He could. You're right.
Yep, that would change.
He's allowed to do that.
If he did that, you shut up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He earned it. What's the other option? How could he change the perception of Dak Prescott?
Figure out a way to defer some money or his contract so that he could get some other players.
Not defer. Defer's not going to do it. Defer's not. If you're still just getting the money, take less.
Yeah.
Do what Tom Brady did.
Yeah,
take significantly less. Okay? Get over the fact that all you are right now is Dak Prescott's biggest battle. Mm-hmm. It's not what he does on the football field.
No,
We've seen that. His biggest battle is, I want to be paid like the greats. I want to be paid at the top of this game, just like the other top quarterbacks, to show that I'm a top quarterback. And it's not about the money, Chuck. 45, 55 compared to 30 would not change his life at all. Mm-hmm.
He has generational wealth right now.
It would not change his life at all, whether he makes 55 this year or whether he makes 40 this year. But what it does change is his ability to say, I'm paid at the top of this game with the top quarterbacks. And his ego won't allow him to do that. And that's why he won't win. He won't win. Same conversation every time. Dak could change this if he wanted to. He has no desire to. Okay? And so unless he somehow finds a way to win a Super Bowl, we're always going to say the same thing about him.
Step and repeat, it seems like.
Yep.
8:10 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.